Hi, how are you? Good, whatever time it is where you're watching this. Whether it's morning, it's afternoon, it's evening for you. I'm very excited to be doing this. My name is Mweteeli, and I'm a personal development expert. I'm the founder of Soft Skills Limited. I'm sure you can see that, but for my big hair. And I'm an author and speaker. This is the first time I'm doing this year, and I'm very excited to be here. Now, I get the vibe this year that people are extra excited about the new year. Usually, people are very excited, Happy New Year and all that. But this year, extra so. And with good reason, because 2020 was not the easiest year. Everybody got a hit, actually. I was having a conversation with some friends the other day, and we agreed that everybody got a hit in 2020, whether it was in the area of finances, whether it was in the area of the loss of a job, the loss of a loved one, of illness. 2020 was just that year that everyone wanted to be rid of. And so here we are. And now my personal theme for the year 2021 is this. One is the number of beginnings. I'm just loving the thought that one is the number of beginnings, because I personally, my own story was I lost my business. My business went completely bust because I am in the business of training, and therefore, when we were not having any meetings, my revenue simply dwindled to zero. And so, long story, I don't want to go into a lot of detail of that, but there was need for me to start. That's why I'm really excited about the idea of beginning, because I'm thinking about it like a clean slate, like start over, like whatever you've done wrong, and it's time for you to start over. So I'm excited to be starting over. I'm excited to have this clean slate and this new opportunity. And so here I am, just sharing a few thoughts on how you can have a better year this year than last year. Now, first of all, whatever has happened to you has happened to you. I like the idea, and I'm a Kenyan, so I do think about athletics and running as an analogy. It's an easy place for me to go, being a Kenyan. Now, at the end of a race, it's painful, it's tired, it's all the feelings you're feeling, except everybody is feeling that. So if you're going to win, you just need to give it that final effort, because everybody in the race is feeling the pain, is feeling the fatigue. I'm feeling that that's the same thing that has happened to us around the whole pandemic and all the tragedy that was 2020. Everybody felt the pain. Everybody felt the pain. If you feel like you're at the bottom, it's not just you, it's all of us. So find the strength somewhere, because what happens to you would be so much a factor of what happened, as in where you end up is not so determined by what has happened to you, because what has happened to you has happened to everybody. Where you end up is more determined by what you do with what happened to you. So 2020 happened to all of us, but what people have done with 2020 is what determines the destination. So here are a few thoughts on how you can improve so that you get to a better end at the end of this year than you probably did at the end of last year. Now, you might want to focus on your personal development. Now, what's for personal development? Personal development is you intentionally improving your potential in whatever area, whether it's in the area of your job, whether it's in the business, your knowledge base. Being intentional about growing yourself is what I'm talking about when I refer to personal development. You want to invest in yourself. Many times people will ask, okay, my business has gone down, I've just lost my job, I've been retrenched, and I know a lot of friends who have lost very, very good jobs. And you might want to ask yourself, where do I start? What can I invest in? Where should I spend my time and my energy? Where should I spend my money? And my answer is always the same: spend your energy, spend your money on developing yourself. You want to grow your knowledge base. I always ask myself, okay, my business went bust. Is there someone in my line of work whose business did not go down? And the obvious answer is yes. Is there someone in your area of work who got promoted, who did better during 2020? The obvious answer is yes. So there is something you and I may not know, the knowing of which could improve our position, could improve our results. So you want to be intentional and deliberate about improving your knowledge base, about improving your personal development, about focusing on that area. Now, what would you be improving on? What would you want to do better? Very often the temptation, if I'm in a particular business and I'm looking for a break, I'm looking for a deal, I'm looking for to make a killing, the temptation is to go into something I know nothing about. I'm reminded of the story of a friend of mine who recently, they got together, two ladies, and they were telling us, and we got to laugh about it, but it wasn't funny at all. They lost a lot of money in this deal, and what happened was they got together and they got in touch with the cost of vegetables. I think because of the shutdown, the lockdown, and everything, there was such a spike in the cost of vegetables down at the coast, and so they hired a truck and they went into the farm areas and they bought a truckload of vegetables. I think it was potatoes that they bought, and they bought a full truck. I'm not in touch with how many bags going to, but they had a full truck, a 40-foot container full of potatoes, and so they were taking them down to the coast. Now that's an overnight drive, and so as the truck was being driven down to the coast, they got on a night bus. Now, the two of them are on the night bus going to Mombasa, and they are talking to themselves and they're excited and they're crunching up the numbers and they're going to make a killing and they can't believe. And 2 or 3 trips like this, and they're buying new cars and a new house and everything. And you can imagine the energy in that conversation, only to get to Mombasa and go to the main wholesale market and find there's at least 20 other trucks that have arrived with the same product, with the same produce. If you're familiar with demand and supply, then you know that the price of potatoes that morning dipped completely to where they were literally pleading with anybody who would take, because they are paying the truck per day. They have a debt where they picked up the potatoes. They are off duty from their regular jobs, and there they are. They could not find anybody interested in buying their potatoes. Was potatoes business wrong? No. And I would know. I've been in a lot of businesses which went down, not because there was anything wrong with that particular line of work, but I was ill equipped to have gone into that line of work. Leave potato business to those people who know about potatoes. Someone who was in that line of work would have found out what's the demand and supply. Because a lot of times you go into business by hearing the cost of pens is this. So you think, I'll buy it here, I'll sell it here. You haven't factored in 1,000 other elements which you would know about if that was your area of work. If you're going to ask me what area should you be developing, I would be, it's the area that you already know. What should I go into? What should I be emphasizing? What should I try? What should I open my business in? It's in that area that you know. If you've lost your job, there is something you know. If you have done the same thing, say for example, in the specific example I'm talking, this friend of mine is an accountant. If she had found a business around accounting, she knows about accounting. No one can fool her around that area. She has a lot of knowledge in that particular area, but she is trying to jump into the trade of fresh produce. She knows nothing about that. Stay in the area that you know. I want to give you 2 examples that will prove my point. One of the biggest selling books in personal development, actually, that founded the whole personal development business, is a book called Think and Grow Rich. Now, Think and Grow Rich was written by Napoleon Hill about a century or so ago. Uh, that is a book that was written by somebody who was already an author. He was a journalist already. So he spent 20 years talking to all of these millionaires and finding out and developing a philosophy around wealth creation. He was not starting with that book. So don't try to write a book. I am actually an author myself, and a lot of people ask me, how am I going to write a book? And I always tell them, start by writing a bad one. When we try to do a great book, when we try to do something perfect, we stop ourselves in the tracks. Think and Grow Rich was not the first book that Napoleon Hill was writing. Another example is the movie The Secret. Now, Rhonda Byrne was already a producer. She was already doing documentaries and videos and stuff like that. She did not start with The Secret. So don't think that you're going to do this documentary that will sell me 30 million in books, 30 million in documentary, 30 million to start a worldwide phenomena. It's very unlikely you'll do that in the first shot. It's very, very unlikely you'll do that in the first shot. So the area you want to develop is the area you know already. So if I have failed in the particular business I have made, if I have lost a job in the job that in the profession that I have been all this while, I might want to package my information, my knowledge, my experience, and sell that, because that is where I'm likely to build a business, a successful business, because I would be playing in my own zone, so to speak. I would be staying in my lane. It's the area that I know about. And it's interesting that I should come up with this because this is the training that we offer. We have a training program called Wealth Messenger Program. Now, the Wealth Messenger Program teaches you how to create wealth in your own area, how to create wealth in the area that you already in your knowledge base, in what you already know how to do, how to package that, how to write a book about it, how to develop businesses around it, how to become a coach around that area, around the area of what you know. Don't jump out of your pond and get into another area of something you know nothing about. We will teach you how to take what you already know and package it into a business. If that is something that interests you, you might want to get in touch with me. Whatever it is that you're watching this, whether this is on Facebook, on YouTube, get in touch with me. My contact details are below. Get in touch with me and let's sign you up because we are starting this program just this week. It's online based. We do this on Zoom, and so that you're able to access this program from wherever you are in the world. The last time we had this program, we literally had people in 3 or 4 different time zones attending, which is the beauty of the internet. We are able to do this program from the convenience of your home. We have twice a week classes. The entire program is 12 modules. Get in touch with me for the details. I would be glad to sign you up. My name is Christine. I will talk to you again soon.